everyone. Believe it or not, we're in Bryce Canyon, which is day 5 of a 6-day tour that Sarah and I are doing, which is the Wild West with EagleRider. We have with us Stefano.
Yeah.
I've been calling him Stefano all week. Been put right this evening. So anyway, we'll move on from that. And Joanna, these are both of our guides. Stefano is our lead guide. Is that you? Is that your official title?
Yeah, so yeah,
Big kahuna.
Yeah.
And then your muscles. Is that right?
That could, I've been many things, but we'll be muscles today.
We'll come to Joanna because she's got quite a history, haven't you?
Interesting backstory.
Interesting. So yeah, it's just really to introduce you guys to the EagleRider program and things that they do. As you'll probably remember, we've already done the Route 66, which I would probably class that as one of the iconic tours. Would you probably put that as a category?
Yeah.
Whereas the Wild West, to be honest, I can't actually say more than the fact that you just have to come and do it. It's just every day has been.
It's more of a rider's
There's
tour.
a bar been set every day, hasn't there? And then it just gets better and better. I mean, today has been probably one of the best days riding I've ever had. So apparently it's going to get better tomorrow.
They keep saying that every day. It's going to be much better tomorrow.
And it has been, hasn't it?
And they'll say it when we get to Vegas, and we'll be like, but we're not coming tomorrow.
Yeah, you should be doing the second part. So this is actually it's one tour, but it's split into 2 parts. So we're doing Wild West 1, and then there's Wild West 2, which makes up the complete program, which is then Vegas through. Do you want to explain where that goes? Because we're not doing it, so tell us what we're missing.
Yes, yeah, I'll tell you exactly what you guys will come back and do.
We will,
eventually, yeah. So from Las Vegas, then we ventured through Death Valley, and that takes us all the way to the Sierra Nevada. Once you get to the Sierra Nevada, we ride Tioga Pass over to the other side of the mountains, and that takes us to Yosemite National Park. A beautiful day in Yosemite National Park, and then eventually make it to San Francisco for 2 nights, a day off in San Francisco or a day of free riding. And then it's San Francisco to Los Angeles along the coast on Pacific Coast Highway. That takes about 3 days, so just a fantastic week.
Yeah, we've driven Pacific Coast from LA to, we got to Monterey, didn't we? We realised that we were actually on the wrong side of the road. You need to be doing north to south, right, to be on the right side. And we're in a car doing north, and we're like...
North to south, or like rather chilly weather to hot.
It was a mist. It was like a low cloud pretty much all the way, wasn't it? So the first part is LA to Vegas, which most people would think LA to Vegas is a 3.5-hour drive. To most.
Took us a week.
It took us a week. Yeah, we walked it.
Too many body breaks.
Yeah.
No hurry.
We're on skateboards. We'll get there. Not long. But no. So we left LA to Palm Springs. Maybe you can just tell the audience where we've been so far and what we've got left.
Joanna?
You're the big kahuna.
Okay, yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah, so the first day, basically, it starts off with, the California highway, getting out of Los Angeles. That's an experience of its own. So, and then eventually you make it to the mountains of Southern California, Ortega Highway, and then the San Jacinto Mountains, and that takes you all the way down to Coachella Valley, where Palm Springs is located. And in between, it's a whole series of different, very scenic highways. So that's the first night we stay in Palm Springs. Should I continue on the second day?
Okay, so you'll see in our actual episode 2, so each of these programs, you have to excuse the background, but each of our programs, or they're split into episodes. Each episode is each day. So our episode 2, if you haven't seen it, there'll be a link just here to go to episode 2, which is LA to Palm Springs, and then we go from Palm Springs to
Laughlin, Nevada. That's the destination for that day, and that day it's epic. You have the first national park of 6 national parks that are included in the first week, which is Joshua Tree National Park. Amazing place with crazy rock formation, the Joshua trees itself, and then you have the Mojave Desert. Mojave Desert, it's a vast expanse of land, hard to describe, especially for Europeans coming to the Southwest,
Everything
can
is vast.
Yeah, everything is
Yeah.
vast.
Yeah.
And on that day, we actually catch Route 66 in Amboy, where you'll find the iconic Roy's Motel with a neon sign and a big shield with a Route 66 painted on the road. Continue on old Route 66, and then eventually you cross from California to Nevada, and then ending the day on the Colorado River, taking a dip on the Colorado River.
Some people take a dip.
And that's in Laughlin, Nevada. That's where the hotel is located.
Okay, so that's our episode 3, which please take a look. We actually done a lot of that route on our Route 66. So some of this does actually overlap. Funny enough, one of the days that we were out, we did actually meet up with another group that were on Route 66, and we had the pleasure of meeting Richard. Which you'll see that in one of our previous episodes where we meet this legend. Should we call him? He's done how many now?
He's on to, I think, his 62nd right now, and he's gonna do his 66th Route 66 tour in October, actually.
Right, so he's back to back with them almost.
Pretty much.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, really nice guy. So we met him. So we've actually on Route 66. So this, again, Wild West covers some of the Route 66. So if you want to experience some of the Route 66 route, which seems a bit of a weird thing to say, but if you want to experience some of Route 66, then the Wild West actually gives you some of that as well. So you kind of get the best of both. And then we went from Laughlin. By the way, it was hot in Laughlin. I remember I looked at my watch and it was telling me it was 28 degrees at like 6:45 in the morning.
I think it was hotter when we did it on Route 66 though.
Yeah, just like a month later almost, wasn't it?
Yeah, also because you got there later on in the afternoon, so
Yes.
it's hotter.
So then we done Laughlin to
Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon.
Yeah, and that day actually has, I like to describe it as the most iconic, actually the longest continuous stretch of Route 66 that rides from the state line of California and Arizona all the way to Williams, nearly all the way to Williams. And we go through Oatman, which is an old mining town up on the Black Mountains.
The donkeys.
The donkeys, the holy donkeys.
Donkey
And then eventually you get to Kingman, the heart of Route 66, and then on to Hackberry, which is the service station that was owned by Bob Waldmeyer, very famous traveling artist of Route 66. And then we get to Seligman, magical Seligman, where we actually got to meet
Angel.
the man, Angel Delgadillo. Angel Delgadillo, 95 years old man. He was actually born 4 months after Route 66 was officially opened, so it's kind of like the twin brother of Route 66. And he was the one that, when Route 66 was officially decommissioned because they opened the interstate that runs parallel to it, he went to the local politicians fighting in order to save the town, basically, and preserve these iconic stretch of road. It's part of history Americana.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll actually put a clip on now of Angel explaining the story of what happened when the Route 66 got split. Actually, listen to Angel. We'll put a bit up now that'll give you an insight as to what this true legend actually done to bring Route 66 back to life from what was essentially a dead route at that point.
I've been hearing about you for 4 years, so that's good. That's awesome.
I have been interviewed by the news media over 1,000 times, national and international.
You're a legend.
But you know why they keep coming?
For a haircut.
When our government said the in of Route 66, they brought the signs down. October of 1985, they told the world the in of Route 66. I had an idea and I took it to the Historic Route 66 Association that we formed May the 18th, 1987. I told them about my idea. Then we asked the government to make Route 66 historic from Seligman to Kingman.
Yeah.
We were totally ignored. But you know what? They did not know who they were up against.
Go get
They
'em.
were up against 5 of us people out of the 15 people that came to the meeting. We gelled as one. Us 5 grew up during the Depression. We had the same mentality of growing up. We had the same mentality of don't give up. So they didn't bother us, they didn't fade us, we just stayed on them. The state finally made Route 66 historic from Seligman to Kingman in November of 1987. The state finally made it historic from here to Kingman. Then we asked them to make historic the 17 miles east of Seligman and the 15 miles east of Kingman. So now we have the longest remaining uninterrupted stretch of Route 66 from exit 139 to the Arizona-California border.
His memories are
And
beyond crazy.
no other state has that in one continuous stretch. They have more, but you have to get off I-40.
It's the longest continuous. Yeah.
Here, it's the longest one.
Wow.
So from Seligman, then we continue on to Williams, say goodbye to Route 66, and I head towards the Grand Canyon to watch the sunset. So
Yeah.
that's the end of an epic
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, and then the following morning, it was a helicopter ride. Sarah and I didn't actually do the helicopter ride because we'd done that on the part of the Route 66 that we'd done last July. But that is something that you've got to have on your bucket list and get that ticked, because that's quite something to actually go over the Grand Canyon in a helicopter. And then the following day, Grand Canyon to Monument Valley. Which again was, I mean, these roads just keep getting better and better and better every time you go out. And I mean, that to me was, I thought that sort of hit a bar, and I was like, it's not going to get any better than this.
It's magical.
Yeah,
out
and then
there.
you have the whole Navajo Nation and the Navajo experience that we do down the valley.
the Jeep
in
tour we
Monument
got
Valley,
on.
The Jeep tour.
Yeah,
And the native bread.
yeah, and I mean that is something that you only ever see that in the movies.
Well,
know?
also, you don't normally get that if you're doing your own tour or going in your own RV. You're not going to experience that because you don't know it's out there. So you guys are kind of offering experiences to people that they wouldn't necessarily think about if they're doing their own tour.
They don't get the flute
They don't get the flute.
No,
And the legend
and
of
the
the
flute's
flute.
there.
and the legend of the flute.
The legend
Yeah,
of the
That's
flute.
true.
So then the following day is Monument Valley to here, Bryce Canyon. So this morning, it's actually been a really busy day today.
346 miles we've done today.
Forrest Gump Road was phenomenal. It's those long stretches where you think it would be boring, but it's the whole backdrop and scenery. There was quite a few people there though, wasn't there? So we had to kind of scoot in and out of traffic. Today I think was a really long day for us, but so much. I think we packed so
Every
much
30
in
miles,
today.
the scenery changed too. That was so, I can't get over that. This is only the second time I've done this tour, and every time you think you got the shot of the day for pictures, you come around another vista and you see this valley of complete different rock formations, different colors. It's just, and it's a rider's ride, like you said. It's twisties, 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 and a few animals here and there.
It's weird though, because I did say to Stefano, I said, is tomorrow technical? And I remember you completely blanked me. So I was like, it's
He's
tomorrow.
got your number.
It's tomorrow we're doing the switchbacks. Because
yeah.
they did mention that.
Yeah,
so.
the hard packed dirt road.
But we all made it.
Can you maybe tell us what your experience of that switchback?
Moki Dugway?
Yeah,
Monkey
it's
Dugway.
I mean, I'm not an overly experienced rider. I've only passed my test in 2018 and I've only done 1 or 2 days off-road. So for me, that gravel was quite nerve-wracking, but it's just, I think you take your time. You just ride to your own abilities and nobody pushes you in the group. You've got the van behind, you've got your guide in front, and you kind of just go at your own pace, which is nice.
Yeah, the drone footage showed your spacing was awesome for everyone, the whole group. It's perfect.
Yeah,
No one was pushing each
you
other.
done well.
I think that it's a really good group. Nobody kind of wants to be doing a particular thing. Everybody's just happy to kind of just go with the flow.
Yeah,
I think
it's very
that's
relaxed.
it is really relaxed. So yeah, today I enjoyed my beer at the end of the day.
So hang on, so you've got the switchbacks, but then you also had the other bit, which was the mountain road up and which
Yeah,
you
I'm
enjoy.
really,
The
I'm really
drop
not
on
good
both
with heights
sides.
either.
It's only a
I was actually
300-foot
thinking about
cliff.
you when that ass came by. I was like, I wonder what she's feeling right now. She's probably cussing at me right now.
I think I've just had tunnel vision, just looking at the road.
You know what the
'cause-
biggest problem is? I see these drops and I accidentally go, oh, have you seen that? And then she looks and she's like, what the? He's telling me I don't want to look over there.
Because you're talking to each other, right?
Yeah.
At one point, he was like, because you do chit chat, because you're more experienced, so it comes more naturally to you. So, and I'm just like, I just concentrate on riding, please? But no, it's good fun.
Y'all did great.
But we do get from the guides every day. It's like breakfast at this, bags at this, and then this is what we're doing during the day. And then there's kind of a roundup, so you always know what you're doing. You always know roughly how many stops you're going to have, and it's always every hour. So about an hour. So yeah, it's just pretty much. It's not regimented. It's quite flexible, but
It
good
has
fun.
to have some element of regimented actions to it. Otherwise, people will be leaving at 10 o'clock in the morning and
home
be
at 10
moaning
o'clock
that
at
why
night.
we getting to the
Yeah.
hotel
Yeah.
so late. And
We have to somehow, manage the time of the stops. I'm one that likes to pack in a lot because, people travel from far away. Some of the riders that come, it's their life dream ride.
Once in a
Saved for
lifetime.
ages
I
for it,
wanna
yeah.
I wanna try to give them as many memories as possible to take
Yeah.
back home.
So on that, Stefano, how did you get into becoming a guide? Is this the first time you were a guide for EagleRider, or was you a guide before?
No, I was not a guide before. I come from the hospitality business, and I like to describe this as nomadic hospitality on two wheels,
Yeah,
because
nice.
that's pretty much what we're doing. To be a guide, it's mainly the main skill you have to have, besides knowing how to ride a motorcycle, is being a people person. So I got into it. It was basically started out from a motorcycle ride and making friends, and eventually this friendship developed into meeting somebody that became a really good friend of mine that is in the business, my friend Marco Mencaccini from Italy, and he's been collaborating with EagleRider for 15 years. And he's mentioned
Stefano's from Italy, if you hadn't worked that out already. Just got to get that in there. Not Venice Beach.
so he mentioned to me, Stefano, you have some people skills, you speak several languages, you have good spirit, so you could be a great guide. And I'm like, guide? I had no clue that such a job existed. So he offered to introduce me to the company. And a couple months later, they called me for an interview, and I met Lala, which we will meet tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
And it's going to be another interesting interview.
Where were you living then when you got?
I was in Los Angeles. At that time, I was I owned a traveling juice cafe, and I was going from music festival to music festival to music festival to make food and drinks.
Yeah, he's
So
chef.
that's what I was doing.
Chef.
So that's pretty much how it started. And I had the interview, and 3 months later, I was on the road. Yeah,
And not look back.
not a bit,
No.
not a bit.
How many would you say you've done, if you had to guess? How many tours have you done?
Over 50.
Have you really?
Over 50, yeah.
And your
In
favourite one?
between Italy.
Okay.
Okay, so we're talking about the US. If we talk about the US, the Wild West. Exactly this week.
Yeah.
This week, to me, it's a combination of so much great riding, the epic Route 66, national parks, Los Angeles, Las Vegas. So it's
Yeah.
hard to beat.
You can't top this. Although Italy sounds like it could be quite good.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to do that one with Stefano at some point. And Joanna, you're driving our wagon, right?
Yes, yes.
But you wanna be at the front, right?
Yeah,
You
I was
wanna-
supposed to start this month, but I had some things. I sold my house and had to move, so I didn't have time. So yeah, I'm supposed to leave in September.
Okay.
I'm pleased though, because otherwise you wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's actually worked out really well for us.
It has. Yeah. Exactly.
It's a lot of fun. Like you said, you got to be a people person to do this. I have a unique background riding. I've been riding motorcycles for 54 years, and I have over 1 million miles on two wheels.
How could you be doing that when you're only 24?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, right.
Previous life.
And my big brother had a motorcycle, so little sister wanted one. So I got my first bike way back when, and then I went on the police department and did 27 years, and I was the first female motorcycle police officer in the history of Los Angeles. And then I retired in 2008 and got bored immediately and got involved in teaching motorcycle and people how to ride. And it's a rewarding job. It's fun. You got to have a lot of patience to deal with people who don't even know what a clutch is and never sat on a bike and have them riding in 2 days. So some people it's not for, and some people take to it like a duck in water, you know.
Yeah, right.
I was on a TV show called American Gladiators. We started that show back in 1989, and it was on for several years. So
We'll put some pictures up.
I used to wrestle, man. I've done all sorts of karate. I was number 2 in the nation when I did that stuff.
Slow riding champion?
Yeah.
Have to have
Slow riding champion.
So I have to put some videos of that as well. You know, the police when they do the.
Yeah, I've won
through the cones and
four
everything.
competitions. Yeah, I was the only girl. 180 guys.
And where did you? Was it an actual competition?
It was at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. I've done 4 of them. They all over the state of California.
We went to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's fun. So I got into this, and I do this job to meet the people. You know, now I can travel anywhere in the world pretty much and know someone and have someone to go riding
Yeah,
with.
that's
And that next year,
pretty cool.
that's my goal. I'm definitely going to get over to Europe, for sure.
Well, EagleRider as a company, they're expanding their tours globally.
They're worldwide.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realise when we first started looking at EagleRider, because we automatically went, we've got to go to the States, we've got to do Route 66, we were looking at coast to coast and all these other things. And then we started to think about maybe the Seattle to Salt Lake City up through Yellowstone and, you know.
That one is phenomenal, definitely. I did that once my first year, and I want to go back so bad. It's hard to get that one.
I think that's the thing though, people just automatically go Route 66 and don't look at the other tours. And I think there's so much more out there as well that people can go and see.
Yeah, Route 66 is pretty straight. You know, you hit a few twisties towards the last day, but this is twisties almost the whole way, you know. The few sections of straightaway to get to places, but as you've seen, each day is getting progressively windier and twistier. And
So is Yellowstone similar to some of the stuff we've been through today?
Yeah, you know, it's quite mixed. You have canyons, you have you know, tall mountains, the Tetons, forest. I mean, it's a massive park. You have
It's huge.
geysers, all kinds of
oh
stuff.
yeah,
You know, and
Old
wild
Faithful. Oh, it's so
yeah.
cool.
animals.
Old Faith and buffalo everywhere.
And buffalo everywhere.
Mind you saying that, we're going through Zion tomorrow. That's meant to be quite good.
Is it Zion?
And we
Zion?
Zion.
Zion.
Yeah, and if
Zion.
we're lucky, we
Zion.
might get to see some buffaloes tomorrow morning as
Really?
well.
There was a part we were going through today and I was like, shit, there's going to be some bears coming out of here soon, because that looked just
Did you
like...
see the antelope? Were there any antelope?
No,
We didn't
saw
see
some
it.
cows.
Cows. Yeah.
And what did you see in Grand Canyon? Elk?
Elks, a lot
Yeah,
of them.
a
Everywhere.
lot of
A lot of
them.
them.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And we didn't see any last time. We just saw one moose.
Yeah. And that was marginal because it was so tucked away in the trees.
And one snake.
Yeah, one snake.
Yeah,
a lot of
flattened
tumbleweed.
Yeah, we thought they were a load of birds.
Yeah. They were
Yeah,
just
that
kind
was- that was a
of
bit
all over the
scary.
place. But no, it's good. So what's in store for tomorrow then?
Zion?
Zion, yeah. We
May go through the tunnel. We're going through the tunnel.
drive through Zion National Park.
Tunnel.
Yeah, there is one inside Zion. There is a 1 mile long tunnel.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right down
And
the
it's-
middle
it's-
sometimes.
It's another beautiful canyon, hard to describe. I mean, this tour really makes you want to go back home and study geology, you know,
Yeah, it
because
does.
you see so much and so different
Yeah.
every day.
Lala, she knows geology up and down. You point anything, and she gives you the name and the background and the history. And like I said, her family are famous climbers. I think there's books her parents have done, and she's phenomenal.
Yeah, she climbed the El Capitan.
Every
she climbed
major peak in the
Patagonia.
U.S.
She was in Himalaya, yeah.
Very
Wow.
smart
So
and
yeah, we're in for a
talented.
good day tomorrow, which is our last day.
I know.
Which is, you know,
But the last day of Route 66 was also the best day.
yeah, coming down that canyon road down into Malibu onto the Pacific
Isn't that
coast.
pretty?
That was, yeah, that was nice. That was fast as well.
For
And
you.
not so much bitumen as we've had today.
Yeah, the bitumen. Oh, yeah,
Keep your wits about you on that.
yeah. It can. I mean, I'm sure it's not dangerous. I don't think anybody's skidded on it, but it feels like you're going to.
Oh, in Topanga Canyon?
No, it's just the bitumen on the roads today.
Oh, I see, yeah, yeah. when
Gets a bit
fix
slippery.
it. Yeah.
Oh, the
absolutely.
tar snakes?
Yeah.
Is that what you
Tar
call
snakes,
it?
yeah.
Tar snakes.
Yes. Wait till they, well, then they get really hot, they get squishy, and your tires do this. It's very
Yeah, I
unnerving.
was actually doing that today. a
Was
little
it?
bit. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a little unnerving depending on your lean angle.
So another thing that I want to cover while we've got them sat here and a captive audience, if you like, couple of questions with regards to group sizes. So we're quite an exception on this one with 5 bikes, 7 people. I mean, that's not normal, is it, as a group size?
I like the petite group. I love it.
It's nice. We move.
Oh my God, we
quicker,
can
you
see
know.
everyone. And you all can
everybody.
ride.
Fuel stops are amazing. They're like
Yeah.
in and out. It's
I
like
don't
don't
have
even
to
bother
pump
taking.
fuel.
Don't take your lid off. We're going again in 2
Eating,
minutes.
everything's much easier with a small group.
Yeah.
It
But
is.
usually, anywhere, honestly, between 10 bikes up to like 15, 16 bikes.
Yeah, and that's quite normal, would
Yeah.
you say?
It's a lot to manage.
And it's very, yeah, but I think with the spaces in the United States, it's very manageable because everything is big, big parking lots, wide roads, and so even the gas pumps, you have like 12 pumps to pump fuel from. So
Yeah, and parking spaces. I mean, we parked up in a garage today when we waited for them other bikes to come out, and we just took them 2 spaces. Whereas on Route 66, we were like parking way over the other side, weren't we? Just to keep out of everyone's way. You don't look cold at all.
Don't I?
No. So one of the things that, for those of you, because obviously a lot of our audience isn't actually America, it's actually more Europe. So one of the things that's very important in America is tipping. And I know that you Europeans are very, not anti it, but you're just not used to it as much as they are in the US. So I have a very personal question. How do you respond, or how do you feel when, and I'm sure you've had it, when you've had people on your trip that haven't tipped? I mean, we've been to America enough now to know that tipping is a must.
It's a life thing. It's
Yes.
people rely on it for their salary.
And I want to make sure that when you come over and do this, which you're going to do, is that you understand the etiquette
Bring cash.
of tipping and the importance of it. So I guess my question is, have you had people that have given you nothing as a tip?
I haven't.
And what would you class as an average?
It's all over the place. So see the way the tip envelopes, the cruise ships
There's a guide.
the cruise ships used to have tip envelopes at the end of the cruise, just like we do. We gave you envelopes, and they stopped doing that a couple of years ago, and they just included it in the cost of the cruise. I would like to see personally that happen with this company, so people don't have to come up with a tip at the end and try to figure out what they should give us.
Right.
I think it should just be a standard number that everyone's comfortable with, because a lot of Europeans make a lot better salary than Americans do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we rely on tips for jobs that we do, especially guides. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a slap in the face. I'll be honest with you. If you're with someone for 2 weeks and you get $50 from 2 people, what does that come out to a day for 2 people? I mean, it's like, wow, I gave people $5 just for taking a bag into the room.
Yeah.
So personally, sometimes it rubs me the wrong way, but normally I don't get tipped poorly. It depends how you bond with people. They know we bust our butts and we do everything we can for you to make this, because this is for most people, it's a once in a lifetime trip. And we want to make it something that they remember in a good way.
Yeah.
So.
And we would say 10 out of 10 against that. I mean, the experience that we've had on this trip, I'm not just saying this because you guys are sitting there, but it has been phenomenal. It really has. I give you $50, you give me $50 back.
I feel we've been looked after. I mean, it's the little touches that Joanna's done, like the towels. So she gave us all microfiber towels and soaked them with cold water. Obviously, we didn't need them the last couple of days. It's not been so warm, but the first couple of days.
But we're keeping them.
When you're acclimatised, and especially to the heat, it's really important. And I think the problem is people don't understand, they don't keep hydrated, and then they get caught unawares. So you're kind of preempting that to make sure that they're okay.
The Western U.S. is a different kind of heat, folks. It hits you hard and it hits you quick if you're not hydrated, and take electrolytes. And bring a long sleeve white shirt or some light colored shirt, not black. Yeah.
Very important things to remember.
And when we got to Palm Springs as well, our bags were waiting in reception. The cool box was waiting in reception. It was just like, oh, thank you. It was a really lovely touch. And we've been we feel we've been really well looked after.
Little things, but make a massive impact on the overall experience, because you don't want to get at the end of a 350-mile ride when you're absolutely exhausted to then be having to traipse bags, 400 yards or find where your bags are. I mean, we had an experience on Route 66 where we arrived at a hotel, which funny enough, we stayed in that same hotel at Red Feather Lodge. And unfortunately our driver had to go and do a bike drop somewhere.
Swap my bike out.
Swap your bike out. So we actually arrived at the hotel an hour and a half before he arrived, and we were absolutely wringing wet. So it was like, well, what do we do now? Where we thankfully, and touch wood,
Everything's smooth.
we haven't had rain yet.
Smooth.
We had a little bit of a shower.
Rain, you got drenched.
Ah, come on, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
hardly.
No hail.
Yeah, on the nipple.
Right there.
What else do we want to cover?
Well, which tour are we doing next?
Well,
Yeah.
we were talking about doing coast to coast, but I feel that we need to finish some unfinished
We
business.
really like
with-
it around here in Utah.
Yeah.
It is pretty.
Beautiful.
So I think we need to come back and do Wild West 2, which would be great.
Yep.
Or the Canada the Yellowstone
Yeah,
one.
and Milano.
Yeah, I'll do that with you because I'm going to do that one.
The Italian
I'll do it
job.
with you guys.
Yeah, that. I've looked it up, and that does look. I hope they don't change it before we do it, because you're talking that they might do. Is it
If
Rome?
it's gonna change, it's gonna be for the better. So
Yeah, for the
everything
better.
is just getting
It
improved.
evolves.
Just small details, little details that might make a difference. I tend to be pretty, detail oriented when it comes to those things. So
Is this your baby, the Italian
it is.
one?
Yeah, it is.
He
Yeah,
birthed
is,
it.
It is.
Yeah.
Years ago, I met. I was at a convention, EagleRider convention, and two guys show up, and I meet them, and I was like, "You guys have my same accent. Where you come from?" And they tell me the name of the town. I was like, "You guys are a half hour from where I'm from. What are you guys doing here?" "Oh, we're gonna open EagleRider Italy." I was like, "Well, let's talk." So we got involved, and we actually outlined an itinerary. We scouted it, and then every year we are doing something to improve the experience. To
Yeah.
make the riding better, to add cultural accents to it. It's all about the experience.
Yeah,
So,
of course. Yeah, and that's why we all do it. It's partly hobby, but equally it's to go and have these life experiences. And I'm not.
Yeah, and the food is not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The food's all right in Italy, even for people like me that are awkward. But I wouldn't say that I'm a spiritual person, but I've got to say these last 5 days, they really make you look at yourself and make you realise to some extent how insignificant you are in the scheme of things. I'm not going to go too much into that, because you've got to come and do it to actually understand where I'm coming from, but it really does make you sit and
I think you're up quite high in a lot of places, and you do feel like you're kind of up there.
almost like a bird.
Yeah, it's today especially. Obviously, you shared that special story with us, and that kind of touched me as well. I was feeling quite emotional anyway after that. But you kind of sit there and you kind of take a big gulp and have a lump in your throat, just sitting there taking it all in.
Yeah, life's short. Make sure you live it.
Yeah, exactly. There's no rewind.
Yeah, and appreciate the privilege of be able to do such
Yeah.
amazing experiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it while you can.
Yeah.
Well, we're really privileged that we've been able to have you as our guides. I think
Oh,
you've really made this trip
Yeah.
special.
You guys have been great. You guys have been great.
We try
it
and
makes our job a lot easier. you know,
Yeah.
and-
yes.
Do you know what? Sometimes you kind of get into these groups, and being YouTubers as we are, sometimes you kind of want to try and be a little bit subtle with it, because people are like, oh God, what are they doing now? Why have they got the camera going? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Why has he got 15 cameras hanging off of his bike? But
you're pretty impressive.
we have to try and blend in, but at the same time we have to blend in, but still get our job done, and try and get it across in the way. And what we've always done is we've always made a point of being completely honest about the process and what our experience is, because that's what people.
That's what they want.
That's why they subscribe to us. That's why they watch our channel, because they know that they're not getting any bullshit. It is as it is. And I'd like to think that what we've got across on this is absolute from the heart.
Yeah, sometimes though, I don't think the cameras and the GoPros are going to pick up the beauty of
Right.
what we've actually seen,
Right.
Or the steepness.
or the enormity of
True.
it either. Yeah,
True.
it's been phenomenal. But
Yeah.
anyway, if they come and book the tour, then they can check it out.
Yeah,
for
don't
themselves.
take our word for it. Come and do it for yourselves. It's much more fun. Don't keep watching our stuff. I mean, please do, but you
They
know.
also have Baja too. I mean, it's all over the place.
Yeah. Okay, I think we've covered what we need to cover. I think that's a wrap.
Sure. Thank you.
No, thank you.
We'll have to have an intro with Joanna and doing a gladiator move. And then I don't know what
I
we're
should
gonna
do
do
it
for
with carrying
Stefano.
him over my shoulder.
Oh, competition.
It's competition time, courtesy of EagleRider Tours. And we have some incredible prizes up for grabs, including merchandise, club memberships, and an incredible grand prize of an EagleRider tour. And it couldn't be easier to enter. Simply post a picture or video to Instagram using the hashtags M&TM on tour and EagleRider. And with prizes being awarded both weekly and monthly, there's plenty of chances to win. So what are you waiting for? Get posting today and be in with the chance of winning your trip of a lifetime.
You've got something special to be won. Anyway, thanks.
Very good. Awesome.
Ready for our riding to Las Vegas? Yeah. Excellent. Excellent.
Our last day.
You guys' last day. Leaving us.
It's 7 degrees. Doesn't look like it though, does it?
Not too bad.
No, it's nice. We're going to get going on the road.
Yeah,
Let's
one thing I
stop
forgot to
Vegas.
say, guys.